All right, last video here for the area sheets, or area sheet. It's just 4 questions. This one here, pretty straightforward as long as you are aware that looking at this, it is 3/4 of a circle. Okay, lots of ways you can deal with that. Times by 3/4, times by 0.75, right? Which is 75% of the circle. Like again, it's lots of ways that I just do it times by 0.75 or times it by 3/4. Either way, okay? But we'll get to that in the end. This is one of those things where we have to use the circle formula, and we know the area of a circle is pi r squared, and we've already proven that in a previous lecture, so we don't need to go over that again. Again, it does just turn into a rectangle, but yeah, that's another discussion. That's fun, and that's why I love this stuff. It's just so fascinating to me. Like all these complex shapes still just become rectangles, right? I love that. It really helps me visualize all of these shapes, especially when it gets to estimating and maybe dealing with all these different, squares and triangles and cuts and angles and stuff. And it's all just a square, right? It's beautiful stuff. Okay, so here, pretty straightforward because you're given the radius, right? You just got to convert it to a number that you like working with. I'm asking for the answer in square feet, so I might as well work in decimal feet. It's right there. So I would have 9.375 divided by 12, which means this just equals 23.78125. Okay, plug this into my formula. It would just be pi times 23.78125 squared. And I can just plug this in my calculator right away. So squared times pi. And all I did was just had that in my calculator. I just hit the squared button and then times pi, and then I just hit equals. Okay, so this equals 1776.720976. Now remember, I only want the area of the shaded section here, which is 75% of a circle. So I'm just going to multiply this by 3/4 of a circle, or 75% of a circle, which is just 0.75. Remember that 3/4 is the same thing as 0.75. Think of it in terms of money. You got 3/4 in your pocket. How much money you got? 75 cents, $0.75, right? It's all relative. It's all the same stuff. You can eat and spend money. You can do math. Okay, so now I just times this by 0.75. Oh, damn it. Forgot my point. Times 0.75. And that gives me a final answer of 1332.54. And that's it. If you did this in inches, let's say 23 times 12 plus 9, right? Let's just do this in inches real quick, which is 285.375. So plug this into my formula, which would just be pi times that squared. So 285.375, I do squared times pi equals, gives me some big number on my calculator, 255,000, blah, blah, but I still know I need to multiply that by 0.75, which gives me an answer. So I'll just times this by 0.75 for 75% of a circle. It gives me an answer of 191,885.8, well, close to 87, and that's square inches, which I divide by 144, right? Divide by 144, which actually gives me 1332.54. Right, and that's square feet, which is the same answer. So I can work in feet, I can work in inches, does not matter. As long as you're using the math properly, you should be very comfortable with any answers. It is wise that you're going through this to double check your numbers as you're doing them, just so you can avoid these mistakes, like the simple mistakes, like just improper conversions of values, not punching in the numbers right in your calculator. There's all kinds of little things that can happen when you're trying to solve for this stuff. So it's a good idea to go through it a couple times to be confident with your answers and say, yes, this has to be correct. But okay, so that does area.